Good afternoon, everyone. In our last session, we have discussed about the HTTP protocol and in-depth working of HTTP protocol. What is status line? What is request line? Right? What is the headers? What it information contains? Right? So all that we have discussed already. So in today's session, we are going one step ahead. Today we are going to discuss some of the miscellaneous topics. Right? So that you should know as a web developer what is going on currently in the market, right? So first of all, we are going to start with the web expansion, right? So how the web is expanded nowadays. So right now web is not just a web. As you can see, in earlier days, if you have seen that there was only search engines and few websites are available, some static sites are available, but today if you see that there is an era here in this figure, I have seen that. So you can see the PC era starts in early 1980 to 90, right? So what you can see over here, you can see that this particular, in this figure, you can see that there is an era of PC that is very older, but nowadays you can see it is 90, 200, 200, 210, 20, 30. So it is, and apart from that, there is also some versions are written that is known as the web 3.0, web 2.0, and all that, right? So what is the meaning of that versions? Okay, so first of all, you should understand that that versions means something. So as we have software versions, so here there are web versions available for us, right? So what is that actually? So here in besides of this figure, one another figure is there. You can see that. So in this particular figure, you can see there are lots of things written. Like initially in 1993, there is a mail, text, and all that. And in another circle, half circle, there is a wave of communication. So in that era, there is an era of that particular, you can say, social media era, you can say. So in that particular era, social commerce, auctions, social networks, right? Wiki, blogs, instant managers, videos, widgets. So that kind of applications are there for that particular, you can say, era, right? So similarly, if you go upwards, then there is a web of content. Then in web of content, they included smart search, then virtual shopping, smart advertising, then semantic web. Okay. Then in media search. After that, the era comes of web of things, right? So that web of things means the immediate translation. So right now you are experiencing that inbuilt translators are available, right? So at the same time, it can translate from one language to another language, right? So that kind of stuff. Then AI robots are available, chatbots are available, then voice processing available, variable technologies available, geospatial waves, augmented reality. There are lots of stuffs available in that particular thing. That is between 2012 to 2020. Okay. So now you can see that uh, give me 5 minutes, right? Okay, so now here you can see that this particular thing between 2012 to 2020, there is a lots of you can say technologies emerging in that, right? And right now it is contained web of thoughts. So it's a current version, right? And web of thought means collective intelligence. artificial brains, human technologies, direct brain link, digital aura, right? Then AV components. So these are the particular, feature advancements are currently available. So as we thought of that, it's just a website, right? It is not like that. There contains a lots of background algorithms running, right? So as we have seen that if you take an example of YouTube, right? So everybody is using YouTube. So whatever content you are searching, so according to that only they are showing you recommendations and all that stuff, right? So apart from this, there are lots of logics and technologies are there. So that can be used to integrate with this particular app. So here you can see it is denoted only Web 4.0, right? So now it comes that recent soon they can come up with the web operating system, right? That can be happen. So as you can see right now, we have watch OS, TV OS, and all that kind of stuff. So they may have a web OS in a future, right? It may be possible, right? But these are the versions of web 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, right? So here in this graph, you can see according to the era, these particular advancements are there, right? So these particular advancements are. So right now, currently, these particular things are going in the market, right? So here you can see that changing paradigm of web. So you can see internet, emails, www, search engine, web apps, cloud computing is also there, right? Then mobile and data on the move. Okay, so that is also there, like in a Google map you can see, right, real-time traffics and all that stuff, right? So that kind of advancements are there and that are changing the world of web. Okay, now here I have put one you can say difference between 1.0, 2.0 and 3.0. So as we have already discussed in that particular figures that there are advancements are there. So here, if you talk about the advancement, like so in earlier versions, as I told you, most of the static kind of stuffs were there. So it was a read only, right? In 2.0 era, it was a read write, and now it's a portable and personal things you can put, right? So now you can see that there are lots of waveforms kind of stuff was there, web applications are there, and right now smart applications on hand we have. So there are lots of, you can say, differences are there as in when the particular technologies are moving, right? And still the growth is increasing. It is not like it is stuck somewhere or it is completed somewhere. It is not like that, right? Okay. Now let's jump onto the our next topic, that is a web server. So we have already discussed about the web server, how web server works, right? So here I have put one image that depicts that there is a one client. So here there is a one client. Client can be anything. It's a PDA, laptop, iPad, Mac OS, PC, whatever. Then through the internet, you are going to that access the particular server. So server contains your content, right? That may be any kind of, here Unix server is there, and server is attached with the backend databases, right? So it can fetch the database and all that stuff, right? So this is the working strategy of the server. Now currently in the market there are different types of servers available we have, right? So here you can see that there are types of web servers. So right now there are 5 leading web servers in the market. So first is Apache HTTP server. Second one is the Microsoft Internet Information Services, right? It is also known as the IIS server, right? Next one is the Light TPD, then Nginx web server. So Nginx web server is right now also one is the most popular web server, and another one is the Sun Java system web servers, right? So these are the 5 major leading web servers currently available in the market, right? So you can use that for your deployment. Okay. Now, here in this particular PPT's screenshots, I have discussed about the particular installation of IIS server, right? So you can understand that how you can, if you are running a Windows operating system, right? So you don't need any third-party software. Microsoft has its own IIS server, right? So you can use that and you can configure it. So first of all, you can see over here in this figure that first you have to open the control panel and then you have to go to the programs. Okay. And after going into the programs, you have to enable this particular button, that is turn Windows features on or off. So it is already there. If it is a Windows 8 or Windows 10, it will be there, right? After that, when you open that, so one window will pop up, and in that, here you can see there is an Internet Information Service is written, right? So this is our IIS. This is our IIS. Okay. So you have to first of all tick this, check this here. If it is not checked, you have to check it. If it is there, then it's fine, right? And in that, you have again check these two options, IIS Management Console and IIS Management Services. Is not checked, right? But this must be there. You have to also enable these particular web management tools if it is not there, right? So these particular settings you have to provide whenever you go into these particular features. Now, the next thing is here, when you finish that particular thing, then to apply your changes, you just need to restart your machine, right? It is very easy process. Once you see this apart, if you follow these particular screenshots, then also you are able to do. And if you are comfortable with the videos, then you can just go to the YouTube or a Google and search for the things, and it will make easy for you, right? There is nothing in the installation. It is very easy. So once you finish the installation, then you just need to restart your machine to take the effects. And whenever, how you can check that? So this is very important, right? So how you can check your whether your IIS server is configured properly or not, and it is running up or not, right? So you just need to go into the browser, web browser, right? And you have to type a local host. So this is a very common, you can say, method to check any web server is working or installed properly or not. First of all, in any web browser, you just need to go and you have to type a local host, right? And it should display a home page according to the configuration. So this is the particular page for IIS server on Windows. Okay. If you see this kind of response, then your IIS web server is configured properly, right? If you have installed a XAMPP or a WAMP, right? So we are going to use any of this. This is a WAMP is a very lightweight. Okay, and XAMPP is also one kind of lightweight web server. Okay, right? And these particular servers, you can also install this lightweight server in Windows. Okay, and this is for Unix systems and Mac OS. Okay, apart from this, there is also one MAMP, right? That is for Mac OS. Okay, or AMAMP. So don't worry about this. These are the just names of few of the particular applications which you have to be come up with, right, in a future according to your platform or according to your system. But the most preferably the WAMP for Windows and XAMPP for Unix, there should be there, right? Apart from that, if you are working with the Windows latest version, then you just go for the IIS server. Ultimately, you have to have a local server into your system to check the particular working, right? So here, this particular thing we will be needed whenever we are starting PHP. or any server side work, any server side work. So right now you can see that we are not doing any server side or backend work right now. We are going to start with the front end first of all. So in a front end, you don't need to install this kind of particular servers. But for your knowledge, this will be required whenever we are going for this kind of stuff. So if you have worked or if you are working in this area, then you should be aware of these particular applications and technologies. Okay. So these are the particular things you should know. Now, okay. So now let's quickly revise our whole journey up to this, right? So I have made this particular diagram. Okay. So by looking at this particular diagram, everything will be clear in your mind, okay, where you have to use which technology, first of all, right? So as you see that this is a browser and it is at the client side, okay? And browse from the browser, client sends the request to the server, web server. So at the particular client side, which are the technologies you need to use? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, AngularJS, and jQuery. So these particular things we are going to learn. Are we clear with this? Right. So these are also known as the front-end technologies. After that, from the web server, as I told you that anyone you can go for, either you can go for IIS or you can go for XAMPP, whatever. It runs on the basis of Apache, right? And here and on the server, we are going to use any of this particular method, whether it is a get or whether it is a post. Okay. So the advantage or the meaning of this particular thing we'll see whenever we go for the server side, right? But currently you just remember these particular methods are used to send our data. Now here you can see that there will be a middleware. So as we have discussed, it can be Oracle, Express or WebLogics. So we are not going to touch this at this level. These particular things, if in a middleware it is there, then it will communicate with your application, that is your application servers, right? So it can be ASP.NET, PHP, JSP, Python, and Node.js. So here we are going to learn PHP, right? And backend databases are there. So MySQL database also there, SQL, MongoDB, and Oracle is going to be there, right? So we are going for MySQL database, right? So these particular things we are going to learn in this subject, right? Once your data will be fetched, then it comes up to the application server through the middleware. It just go to the particular web server and sends back to the client. Okay, right? So this is the overall picture of our journey. Okay. So first of all, we'll start with the HTML and later on we'll move one step ahead, right? So right now, this is just the flow of our journey, right? But in between that, there are two important concepts we have. So that we should clear first, okay? So what are that concepts? So first in that, web security is there. So there are three concepts we are going to learn right now in this one or two lectures. That is a web security. Okay. Second one is course, right? And a third one is the SEO, right? So these three terminologies you should understand before we are actually jumping into the HTML, right? So first of all, let's talk about some brief. I'm not going into the detail of each and every of these, but I will just show you what is the meaning of it, what is the purpose of it, and why it is required and how it is done, right? So first of all, if we talk about the web security, then you can see that average user spends 16 hours per month online, 32 hours per month in USA, right? So here you can see continuous working also they might be doing over there, right? But these are some statistics you will find on the internet, right? But the ultimately, what is the main thing over here that people spends much time interacting with web and web applications. So right now you can see already we are going to do some transactions, and most of financial work. Apart from financial works, there are lots of our personal works we are also doing by using these particular websites. So there must be a security, right? So there is a lack of security has a major impact on these particular things, right? So though we have right now, there are lots of current security approaches are there. There are lots of technologies are there for securities, but though the hackers are uh, making it success to have some information from your own machines and each and everything, right? So there may be a lots of forms to achieve this particular task. Okay, right? So you can see in this particular graph, this is for 2019 cost of a data breach reports, right? And it is in a US dollar millions. Okay, so this particular graph is provided by this particular purple set, right? And for the IBM security, it's a global average total cost of a data breach, right? So you can see that every year it is going to be increased, right? Little bit at 2007 it comes down, but after the 2017 it goes up and up, right? So it is continuously increasing. You can understand, right? Okay. So there are some hackers, right? Digital thieves are there to steal your information, right? Here I have put some statistics. Okay, so it is also known as the cyber security, right? So here you can see that these are the particular statistics. Okay, so if we talk about these website security statistics, then 86% websites contain at least one serious vulnerability. Okay, then some shoppers hesitate to shop because of lack of trust on a website. Yes, obviously, right? So as we are listening that kind of news in TV, televisions, or if we see that kind of news on social media, right? So we are aware of that, right? We no, I'm not going to buy from this, right? So that kind of trust issue is there. Okay, and more than 40,000 websites are hacked every day, right? 1 million new malware threats released every day. So you can see these are the particular ways, these are the particular statistics. And the most commonly hacked CMS, content management system, right? So it is here you can say WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, okay, right? So majority of these particular, you can say CMS systems are going to be hacked. If you come over here, then you can see this 4,000 ransomware attacks. So I hope you all are aware of the ransomware attacks, right? Recently, I was the victim of this at a different place, right? Not here, but my machine was attacked by this ransomware, right? And clearly they have demanded $1,000 for that. Okay, so that kind of attacks are there that will encrypt your data that no one can decrypt it, right? So ultimately, you have to lose your data, or you have to pay some ransom to get back your data, right? So that kind of stuffs are there. Okay, so these are the particular security aspects are currently in the market, and it is increasing day by day. It is increasing day by day, but because as we know that people are using more and more of these particular web things, and it is going to be advanced. Besides that, this kind of security threats also will be there. Okay, right? So here there is another particular statistics I have put, right? So you have to, first of all, why we are discussing this, because whenever you actually design a particular website, then also you have to think first the security aspects, right? So how secure your website is, so according to that, you will give a better performance, right? So you have to develop a secure website. Okay, so that you have to do. uh, okay, so course we are going to study in our next session, right? So because it is a, you can say it's a long topic, and I need to discuss it in a more detail, right? So course and